Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. All of those things. Checking in. Well, it says it's streaming, but I don't understand why it's not over here. Come on now. Is it just me? Why is streaming not working? I don't understand. It says I'm live. Where am I going live to? Settings. Stream. Restream. Okay. Yo, Restream, why are you not working? Maybe it is. It was just a little delayed. Maybe that's it. Who knows? We're back. We're here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live taping of Podcast Pontifications. It's me, Evo Terra. Nice to see you. I'm taking off my glasses because I just saw the big old screen. You know what? I didn't do anything up here. I didn't do anything with my webcam settings. Hang on. Let me do some adjustment here because I'm not a big fan of the way I'm looking right now. It's kind of spooky. Let's go back to new lights. Oh, that's better. Much calmer. So things you do or things you forget to do. Show webcam settings. When you do the show. Hey, if you're brand new, this is the live page or the live behind the scenes look. So what you see is what you see there. I'm happier with that. It's behind the scenes, baby. Today we're going to talk about tapping. No, we're not going to tapping. We're talking about pondering. There you go. That's the word I was looking for, Evo. Pondering podcasting's partiality problem. I love alliteration. I love my plosives. So that's what I'm talking about today. Anyhow, that's what is up as we continue to do all this fun stuff. And I thank you very much for joining me. Good morning, Betty. Yeah, I was not a big fan of the lighting originally. I was like, oh, that was spooky lighting. It was way too harsh. But now I am less harsh. So good morning to you. Thank you for being here. And everybody who happens to be watching this thing live. Again, this is the behind the scenes side of things. Hi, Arlen. What you're watching right now, what you're hearing right now does not make it anywhere other than the live stream. As I get the voice prepped to have a conversation about podcasting's partiality problem. If you are brand new and you're wondering, why are you watching all this? When's you going to get to it? I got about 2 more minutes before I actually get to it. So if you prefer, go to podcastpontifications.com because that's where all of this will be in about 3 hours from now. Yeah. I will take the audio. Well, first off, we'll trim all this stuff off the video. Throw it away. I will fix up the audio. Oh, this new thing that I was told to do also. Let me get this up. I forgot. Something else new I was going to do. Man, there's always something, isn't there? Always something. Anyhow, like I was trying to say, but before I distracted myself, everything's live at 10 o'clock in the morning. Or is it? Because you see, that's the topic of the conversation today. Well, I can tell you this. It will be live at Podcast Pontifications at 10 o'clock in the morning. And if you're subscribed to Podcast Pontifications in your inbox, you'll get that at 10 o'clock in the morning. But if you are subscribed in your podcast player app of choice, maybe not. And that is what we're going to talk about today. Some new things. Actually, you know what? They're not all that new. It's just some reality things that exist out there. Right. Okay. There is a chat window. I can see Betty and I can see Arlen talking to me. So good morning, both of those people. But also the same thing works for wherever you're watching. If you're watching on the YouTube or you're watching on the Periscope/Twitter or the Facebook, you can drop a comment. And in theory, I will see that comment in the chat stream. I say in theory because you never know how these things actually work. Right, I hope your weekend was a lovely and fun one. I'm ready to go. Let's get this road on the show. It begins with a preamble. Actually, it begins with a cold open because I just did the preamble, as Betty reminded me. Let's move my text over there. And yeah, so here comes the cold open. It's hard for podcasts. Oh, wait. I don't like the way they go. Here we go. It's hard for podcasts to be a great equalizing force when podcasting's tech vendors play favorites to determine which podcasts are worthy of timely distribution. You're less in control than you think. Ooh, scary. Okay, I think I'm going to do this thing. I need to just get back to my I need two things open. I need a file, new audio recording up here, because I'm trying to do some different things. Trying out new tools. And here we go. So, all right. On the count of, now's good. It's hard for podcasting to be the great equalizing force when podcasting's tech vendors play favorites to determine which podcasts are worthy of timely distribution. You're less in control than you think. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. With millions of podcasts now available, which means tens of millions of episodes available, the tubes that get your podcast's episodes to your listeners are getting a little jammed up. Okay, that's not how the internet works, Senator, but it's an unfortunately apt metaphor for where we are today. Because with millions of podcasts and tens, if not hundreds of millions of episodes to available, it takes a while to get the updates where they need to go. Now, we're used to having to wait some time before the directories updated their front page, if you will. But also, until recently, we have assumed that subscribers to our show, using the apps connected to those directories, someone who was subscribed/followed will get the episode within a few minutes of publishing. The difference is the directory may not update for the general public. Just like when a delivery comes into a store, look, the first thing they do is fill all the existing orders, and then they put stuff out in the showroom. Same kind of deal in podcasting, if an additional metaphor is helpful for us today. But anyhow, people who were subscribed can now get it, or always were getting it, within minutes. Well, not anymore. A particular podcast I listened to that dropped an episode on Thursday didn't make it to me in my podcatcher until Saturday. In fact, even the episode that I dropped on Thursday, no, it wasn't just a Thursday problem, but the episode I put out on Thursday at 9:55 in the morning, it took hours, like way into the evening, like 4 or 5 o'clock, I think, before it actually reached my phone. Now, why is this happening? Well, it's happening for extremely boring infrastructure changes on Apple Podcasts specifically. I'm going to point you to an article James Cridland from Pod News wrote that goes into great detail of exactly what the change is. But the headline is this: Apple does not update all podcasts at the same frequency. Instead, Apple, make a determination of how quickly, or how worthy, if you will, your content is of being updated by then. Surprising absolutely no one, shows that have much larger audiences who put out content on a very frequent basis are deemed more worthy and are therefore updated much more quickly. Now, if you are troubled by this, as honestly I was troubled by this when I discovered it, well, that's how pretty much all podcast directories and apps work, or at least a lot of them work that way. It's just not a smart way to spend resources if you, the directory, treat every single podcast exactly the same. Look, you're wasting resources checking all those shows that haven't updated in 6 months. So you want to be able to refocus and make a determination of, I'll use the term again, worthiness based on a variety of factors. Now, if you're troubled by that, well, this is how search engines work. Google doesn't crawl all websites at the exact same time every single day with the same frequency or depth. And any changes that Google, for example, discovers on a website take time before they populate back in the directory. Some pages get updated quickly. Some take a long time. I think we all knew this was happening in podcasting, but I also think we all thought we could bypass this by getting people to subscribe/follow our shows, because then it didn't have to wait for the directory to update. It would just go automatically. Well, no. I think we can no longer safely assume that. So what do we do? What do we do in this reality that not everything, we're not all seen as worthy in the eyes of the tech gurus that hold on to all of this? I think it's especially bad if you publish a ride home format like Tech Meme Ride Home or even post reports from the Washington Post. Those people are no longer able to be assured that their listeners are going to get the content before the commute begins. If you're publishing first thing in the morning format, like there's a podcast out of Australia called 7 a.m. It's right there in the title, 7 a.m. podcast. You can't be confident that it's going to be in your listeners' ears at 7 a.m. or even on their devices so they can put it in their ears. And it's not just these two shows. Day parting of content is a growing trend. I was reading an article over the weekend about somebody who's publishing 8 different episodes per day. We can't trust podcast apps and services to deliver our content on a timely fashion. It's not a one-to-one relationship like many of us, me included, kind of assumed. But you know what is? Email. I know, I'm going to go off on email again, but really, when you send an email to someone, it sends. It takes a little bit of time for it to go through the pipes to get there, but that's not an app updating a directory somewhere. And yes, if you've got a giant mailing list, when you hit send, it may take several minutes and I guess possibly an hour or so for it to churn through what it takes to go through that. But at least you, the sender, received a notice when the sending is done. So you can then adjust the time you begin that job so that everything gets delivered by a certain time frame for you. So if you really want to be certain that your audience knows you release an episode and probably gets it, consider email as your backup plan, as your sort of fail-safe, if you will. Now, how you handle that email is totally up to you. I mean, I think I really go all in on the email. You can see that if you sign up for Podcast Pontifications in your inbox at podcastpontifications.com. I set that to send out every day at 10 a.m., and it's in every inbox within minutes of that. Now, plenty of people still subscribe to /follow Podcast Pontifications in their choice preferred listening app, and that's fine. I'm a big fan of over-delivery, not under-delivery. That's my goal. Have you been frustrated by slow episode delivery on your show? If not, well, congratulations, but you probably will be at some point in time, and certainly someone who you connect with likely has experienced this and is wondering what's going on. Well, email them this article telling them that there's at least a potential weird solution of utilizing email. And if you love the idea, I would love for you to go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra and slide a virtual coffee my way. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers. All right, I'm going to stop the audio recording and stop this recording. I've done 2 different recording sessions. There we go. Everything is out, and it's wonderful, and we're all good in the hood. Bunk. Let's see. Lots of commentary here. Good morning. Oh, hey, Don. Good news. Don bought a house. Wow, what a deal. Let's see. Switch back to audio. I think it's a funny thing here. Just reading through some of the comments people are leaving for us here. Yeah. Betty's triggered by me using the word worthiness, and I did that on purpose. I did not necessarily to trigger you, but to trigger all of us, right? So, yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm glad I raised a good point. And House of Films TV, I don't know, says email for sure. Woohoo! Twitter might also get episodes to listeners faster. Mojo on Twitter, maybe. Well, here's the problem with that, House of Films TV. Twitter hates audio. There is no way to put just an audio file out there. Facebook's about to stop hating audio with their new getting in bed with Spotify type thing, but Twitter still hates audio. So you can send a note saying, hey, here this is, but they can't actually consume it in the application. So anyhow. And then Don says, nice then as always. Well, thank you all for that. I appreciate that very much. As a quick reminder for those that are still watching and listening, again, podcastpontifications.com will have the edited version of this. Also, it is now May. So the countdown is on until I go for my season break. I will be taking off all of the month of June and the first half of July because we're traveling. We're going to go drive back and see the family, which we haven't done in a very long time. So it'll be about 6 weeks when I'm off. When I come back, when the show begins again in mid-July, season 4 of Podcast Pontifications, it's going to be changed. There are going to be some new cool things. And this whole idea of being closer to the people who are listening to it is a pretty serious deal. Some new options are going to be coming available. So, yeah, just so you know, that's coming up. I hate to tease without having a lot of details, but I'm teasing because I don't have a lot of details yet. Just a lot of plans. A lot of plans we're putting in place. So, with that, I once again thank you for your attention. Have a lovely rest of your Monday. Let's do this again on Tuesday, shall we? Okay, bye.